Welcome to the presentation, Using Your Website to Convert. So before we get into conversion, we should ask ourselves a question. Do you actually need a website as a process server or a private investigator or other legal professional? And it's not a question that is meant to be facetious, but the answer is definitely no if you're not looking for more business. Having a website and a professional online presence is the easiest way to cast a much larger net if you're looking to increase your inbound leads and garner more clients. So what should the goal of a process server's website be? Well, number one, it should be to educate. Put some content on your website that educates the potential client. Chances are you're going to have a lot of pro ses or pro pers, people who haven't used process servers much in the past, who don't know a lot about the process. So there's clearly an opportunity to educate there. Additionally, you're going to be dealing with a lot of law firms and paralegals and legal assistants that maybe don't deal with the notion of process serving on a frequent basis like you do. So there's definitely an opportunity to write content that's going to teach them something and show that you are a knowledgeable professional that can help them with service or process. Second thing that you want to do is you want to show that you're a professional. You want to validate who you are by telling them how long you've been in business, that you're a former law enforcement officer, and you want to talk about your experience and who the principals of the company are. Lastly, and most importantly, your website needs to convert. When we talk about conversion, we're talking about getting them to elicit some sort of response. And that response for a process server, private investigator, really any service professional is to pick up the phone and call you. You want to give them not only reasons to call you, but you want to remind them that that's what they're supposed to do once they get to your website. So the main thing that we're going to talk about in regards to websites is the notion of conversion. And when we say conversion, we're talking about converting visitors to your website into customers. You can have the best website in the world, and it could have cost you a lot of money, and you could have had the best web designer and great graphics, but if the site doesn't convert, if it doesn't drive customers to your business, if it doesn't get them to pick up the phone and call you, then it's not doing its job. Every page on your website is an opportunity to convert a customer, and we convert customers with something that's called a call to action. And a call to action can be call us toll free, or it can be click this button to request a quote, or to contact us, or to fill out this form. It's also important to keep in mind that a website is an opportunity to lose a customer. You want to keep your site relevant. You want to make sure that there's strong calls to action. You don't want them to get lost in your navigation. You want it to be very clear when a customer is on every single page of your site what they should do next. So what's the best way to convert a customer? The best way to convert a customer is to actually know the customer. Know what the customer is going to ask you before they even visit your website. So you answer a number of questions all day long that are probably consistent from phone call to phone call. So anticipate what these questions are going to be. These questions might be, why should I choose you? Do you serve in a particular area? How quickly can you get the paper served? How much does it cost? And you may or may not want to include that on your website in the form of a pricing schedule, but we can touch on that a little bit later in this presentation. So think about what other things that your customers ask you frequently and create content that's going to answer their questions that they're going to ask you when they pick up the phone and call you. And chances are answering these questions are going to provide a feeling of confidence in the potential client that you're someone that they would want to have serve their papers. So it's not enough to just answer their questions. It's not enough just to have really good content, but there's also an art to laying out the content and actually having a solid call to action on every single page. If you look closely, there is a call to action on this page, but it doesn't really stand out. This is a page that someone might come across on your website. They'll see the title, they might read the first sentence, and then they're going to click back, or they're going to go to another website, or they're going to go to another page on your site, or they just might abandon the entire process. However, if you lay out your site appropriately, if you lay out the pages appropriately, and you have strong call to actions at both the top of the page and the bottom of the page, especially if it's a long article, chances are you're going to convert that customer. You're going to let them know exactly what they need to do after they are done reading this page. This particular page has the same exact content as the previous page. We've just separated out things in headers. We have stronger call to action. The general rule of thumb is if you can stand back from your computer 3 to 5 feet and get a good idea of what this page is all about just by glancing at it and seeing each of the sections, you're doing a good job of laying out your content. So here's an example of a website template that we provide through a product called Logical Sites. This is one of the home pages that has the phone number on every single page of this template. If you take nothing else away from this presentation, go back, take a look at your website, make sure that your phone number is very visible on every single page, because after all, that's what you want to get them to do. You want to get your potential customer to pick up the phone and call you. Here's the same template. You can see that we have the phone number as well as the send us a message, which goes to a contact form in the upper right hand corner, consistent with the home page. And this is an example of how your call to actions can actually be ingrained in your design. You don't need to figure out how to convert on every single page if you're building it into your website from a design standpoint. Here's another example. In this example, you can see the phone number is on the home page underneath the tagline where it says Reliable Legal Support Services, and then we give them an option to fill out a form, and this button can say contact us, it can say request a quote, it could say email us, something that's going to give the potential client an opportunity to contact you via email or digitally versus actually having to pick up the phone. So you want to give them options when it comes to your call to actions. So there's a number of other tips that we like to give process servers and legal professionals when it comes to conversion on your website. And this isn't conversion in the sense of a call to action, but this is conversion in basically what to do and what not to do on your website. And the first thing you want to do is you want to keep it relevant. You don't want to have pictures of your grandkids or your Harley Davidson or your new puppy or your trip to Yellowstone on your website. This is about your business and you want to keep it relevant to your business. The second thing that you want to do is more related to search engine optimization, more related to the Google Places presentation, and that's you want to have your address on every single page, preferably towards the bottom. The third thing that you want to do is you want to link to your Google Places profile. This will tell Google that there's a connection between your Places listing and your website. And the thing that we talked about a little bit earlier were prices, and we tend to tell people to stay away from putting prices on your website. And the reason is because you might be limiting the conversions by doing that. If you put, I serve all areas of Metro Denver for $50, they don't really have a reason to pick up the phone and call you and ask you that question. They might be price shopping and they could go on to the next person, but if you don't include it on your website, it might entice them to pick up the phone and call you, give you an opportunity to have that conversation, and chances are if you've been doing this for a long time and you're able to answer all their other questions related to service or process, you're going to sell that customer on your services. But it's something you want to test. You might want to try keeping it on your site for 2 months and then 2 months take it off your site, see if the phone calls increase. So that's a brief presentation on websites that convert and using your website to convert customers. More articles on marketing for process servers and private investigators can be found at servenow.com/articles/servers, and that's called our Server Center. If you're interested in any of our products, such as Logical Local, which is a product that helps you rank in Google Places in the Google search engine, or if you're interested in learning more about Logical Sites, feel free to contact us at 877-737-8366 or shoot us an email at info@servenow.com. Thank you.